is a strength. When Coop was struggling early, we had to play Jackson more, and that hurt us a little bit.
When you think about like the winning time sorts of plays down the stretch there in this game, when your team can't, I guess, find the answer there, did that surprise you at all, the way they responded in those moments?
I'm sorry. Tell me the question again.
In sort of the late game stages down the stretch, the way your team responded in some of those moments where you needed a big play.
No, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we were tired. We were missing a guy, and in all honesty, they're a good team, and it was an incredible environment. I mean, do I think Jeremy would do that again the rest of the year? Turn it over. We didn't get a shot. No, I don't think he will. But I don't have a problem. Again, I measure Jeremy in a lot of ways that is different than most people, and most of my ways are the huddles and the half times. And he's maturing and getting better each and every day. But they created some problems with their switching for us, and we needed one more shooter. And as you know, Divine's been shooting well. It's not an excuse, just a fact of life. And those other guys just struggled a little bit. So it is what it is.
Provided that in a little bit of
Yeah, he did. He did, but he was 4 for 15. He did. He came back. He missed some wide open ones, and he's getting better. I was disappointed in our defense on some slips and that we didn't pick up, that we'd gone over and over and over and over. So we got to do a better job as coaches, making sure that point. We knew that last play when he popped. We talked about it in the huddle, and I just think some of my bigs, it's one of the negatives. I need those freshmen to come along. Now I think Cam is getting better. He should be in there guarding guys in that situation. Hopefully I think he's over his injury as far as he's been practicing better. So hopefully we'll get him more time.
Slips and the backdoors they were getting early. How much did that maybe free up? Because it seemed like there were a couple points where Coop was.
Yeah, we weren't. Yeah, Coop, we weren't communicating on that, and that was the big thing. We had two guys going to the ball, and then he popped on Coop. That's exactly right. Which kind of disappoints me that you can see it. No insult intended, but that's our job, and we didn't get it done. So that was disappointing on why we responded and reacted like that. But you just got to keep grinding it. And listen, we were not favored to win here. Not that I care about the gambling, but I mean, it was the environment was the best I've seen here, and it's always good here, but it was one of the best I've seen in a lot of years anywhere in the Big Ten.
Help you guys in March?
The only way things help you is if you respond. And I'm a little concerned that we made some mistakes that we shouldn't make, and so we've got to get a couple guys got to just get a little more grinding. And we'll get that, and then we got caught playing more freshmen because of Divine, and we got hurt on those slips a little bit. In fairness to Jordan, he's been playing good, but he got hurt on that a little bit because he hasn't been in this situation before, and we'll have to do a better job coaching him because he can really help us.
I know each team is a new season; they play differently. Big improvement from last year for Nebraska. Last year you guys blew them out. This year they beat you at home. What's the biggest improvement you've seen Nebraska from your last year to this year?
Well, how many things you want me to name? Everything's better. Everything's better. I mean, it starts with Sanford and Mast. I mean, that's a 1 and 1 AA, and those two guys are really good. They weren't here last year. Remember, Mast didn't play. Lawrence, I told him I appreciate him coming back to the Big Ten, being here a couple of years, then going out east and coming back. Maybe he realized the grass isn't always greener. He's a big addition to him. I'm trying to think who else hurt us. But those three, and then I think the Frager kid is going to be a hell of a player. You know, I think that's a hell of a freshman, and he's going to be a hell of a player. He seems to be getting better and better and better, and we got him a little bit of foul trouble. The Burke kid didn't play as well tonight, but Frager stepped up and really did a hell of a job. So, I mean, who do they have back? My favorite player is the only one they had back, and that's Sam. And I say Sam because I watched him get 10 rebounds the other night. It's a joke. There's not a kid in Big Ten or NCAA basketball that plays harder than that kid and gets more out of his. I had a kid named Timbo Gracchus, but he only played 10 minutes a game. And this kid's playing 28 minutes. He guards people. He motivates people. It's got to be hard because coaches' sons usually take a beating, you know. Anybody in Nebraska bitches about him, I would like to meet that guy because that kid plays so damn hard, so smart, just gets his hands on everything. You know, I had his brother, but I love Sam, and so he's better. The other ones weren't here, but he's better too. So your fans are better. They were good last year, really good. They're better. So if you want to ask me that question again, say, what the hell is even close to what you had last year compared to this year? I tell you nothing. They're just a better team all the way around. Fans are better. Everybody's better. And if I had to lose to somebody, losing to him is a good thing. Fans were great. It's just the way it was.
Anything else, guys?
After the game, you know, obviously Carson had a chance there to tie it. Did you talk to him about that, or you just kind of let him sit and wait?
Let me show my maturity. I'm going to pause for a minute, think about how I want to say it. No game is lost by one player. You know, Jeremy took the blame in the locker room. And the free throws, the game should have been over before the free throws if we did our job. So, you know, even at the end, I told him, you know, Cohen, we had the two guys that wanted to go in for a rebound because he couldn't cross the line, and he did. So I didn't get my message across very well there, and so that falls on me. The other things, I'll just reserve it to, I didn't think it was, you know, a couple of guys didn't have some of their better games. And when it's effort related, toughness related, coming up with a big rebound, coming up with those things bother me. That shouldn't happen in this program. So they did, so I got to do a better job. And I promise you I will. But when I leave here, we played one of the better teams in the Big Ten. Did we learn something? I think we did. Our stretch gets tougher now. We'll get home at 2, 3 in the morning, and then we'll, you know, we play Monday night. You know, ironically, usually when you travel West Coast, well, USC's been here forever because they didn't have school. They came early. They're going to be in bed by the time we even take off. So they got a little advantage on us there, even though they came from the West Coast. Anything else?
Connor, do you have a final one?
Yeah, you talked about the advantage taken by the team on the road with the exhibition at UConn and obviously went into Penn State, but I wonder when you see a court storm and there's the effect that your team had to sort of walk through in this game.
You know, their AD was there, I think, right?
Yeah.
And he was great. And I told my AD, I tell my commissioner, I understand we got to be careful and all that. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. If there's that much passion that they storm the court and that and what, I missed the question.
No,
Was I worried about anybody?
what I'm asking
I was hoping I got stomped on, to be very honest with you.
No, the motivation factor of your players seeing that and being involved in that. I mean, is there a better source of motivation?
Yeah, you know, that doesn't happen much at our place, you know, and because, and it shouldn't, but it should happen here. This is kind of a new experience. That's the beauty of what you do as you build a program. And I wouldn't want those people to react they were lining up back there. I was thinking to myself, go for it. You know, I thought it was great. And I think it's somehow, it's probably a backhanded compliment to us. You know, if we were a nobody, they wouldn't have stormed the court. So our guys got to realize that they play in a program that you're somebody. You better answer the meat and potatoes of what a somebody means. And a somebody means the toughness and winning time, making winning plays. We got to do a better job of that. From coaches to players. Thanks, guys.
Fred, you talked a lot going into this one about just matching the fight and their physicality. I know that you had some success on the rebound, but overall, how do you think that you responded?
Listen, we got out-rebounded by 14. I thought we did a hell of a job in that first half where you really needed to go out and set the tone. I think they had 2 at halftime, and I thought our transition defense was exceptional, and we never took the wrong path chasing down a rebound that we couldn't get. This is the best defensive rebounding team in the country, and we were dead if we were going to chase balls down. So, I thought our guys really followed the game plan, and those were the keys. We had 2 of them tonight. It was get back and rebound, and I said it about 1,000 times in the last 3 days. Not very often are you going to win a game when you shoot under 25% in the second half against a top 10 team. But I thought our activity on the defensive end, 19 turnovers is what we forced. They take really good care of the basketball, and that was the difference, was finding a way to manufacture some points. Price unfortunately got in foul trouble. We hung in there without him, and we're even at the break. We felt pretty good about that, and then he picks up his 4th with about 10 to go. And again, we hung in there, but knew they would make a run. We got up 9. Talked to Braden about the incident. That can't happen, and it's a great opportunity to learn from when you get up like that. So I'm proud of how we bounced back after that moment. He knew right when it happened that he messed up, but he found a way to regroup, hit a huge 3 for us a couple possessions later, and I thought made some really good defensive plays out there as well. But total team effort. Rink obviously was our offense tonight. Price, what do you have, 13 points in 20 minutes. I thought Jamarcus gave us good offensive minutes, but everybody that played, I thought, made a big contribution. Our communication was much better in the second half. First half, Kohler got loose on us. We adjusted, went to a switch, and did a better job. I think he made one in the second half. So just proud of our guys. He found a way to win an ugly one, and we can certainly learn from this. It's always better to learn when you're in the left column.
Number of close games you've played in this year, how comfortable are those guys in a situation like tonight, last 2 minutes, just having to keep their composure and everything?
Well, there's no panic, and the guys, when the under 3 timeout, I think that's when we had the challenge, and Rink came out and made a great read. We actually ran the same play that we ran to get a layup against Kansas State with under a minute left, and went back screen, then went under, and he popped out, hit a huge. I think that was his only 3 in the second half as well, but. Listen, when you're down at the under 4 media timeout and you don't see any panic, you see the guys in there, we're saying this is what it's all about, to be in this position, in this situation, now go win it. And our guys found a way.
Is that for your sequence one of those battle through adversity times?
100%, yeah. And listen, I showed a couple plays in practice where we were going to get teed up, and I thought that was a key stretch in the Illinois game where their player got a tee and we went on a 7-0 run. Now it's us. We get the tee, they hit the free throws, and I think we were up 9, and they cut that thing all the way back and tie or take the lead. So it's a teachable moment, learning moment, and he's gonna be better because of it. And again, I'm proud of Braden for how he handled that situation, and kept his composure and knew he messed up. His teammates rallied around him, and he made some big plays for us down the stretch.
You would have liked to score more points on those turnovers, but to create 19 of them, just what you guys doing so effectively on that?
Just hands activity. I thought the deflections, we weren't great early in the deflection category, but I really thought we got active on it, and that was the key to the turnovers. They play so fast, and for us to get back and force them into the half court, that's exactly what we needed to do. And listen, on the glass, I think they got 4 or 5 in that last possession. So, other than that, I thought we were pretty darn good.
Offensively, how do you think you handled, and maybe even what adjustments do you think there were to Michigan State's length and just deterring shots at the rim?
Well, yeah, and listen, they made some unbelievable plays where we thought, we thought we had layups, and they came out of nowhere. But that again, that's what they do. And we played. I thought Jamarcus was exceptional playing off 2 feet in the paint tonight and getting himself to the free throw line or finishing in there. When we got a little sped up, that's when we got in trouble. But again, that's we haven't seen that kind of length in the paint. And you talk about it, you show them clips on it, but they just came out of nowhere on a couple of those plays. I thought we were pretty good from 3. Shoot, we shot 35 from 3. We'll take that and make 13 of them. And score how many points do we score? I can't see very well anymore. 50, and you score 58 points. So other than the threes, we were not very efficient. It's kind of been the opposite lately. We've been pretty efficient inside the arc. So hopefully we'll put it together where we have both. Once we go on the road.
It's kind of all been about proving people wrong and silencing doubters and whatnot. This is kind of the latest time that you're able to do that.
We're not worried about that. This team has been very businesslike in their approach. This is another game where we're at Pinnacle Bank Arena. It was one of the best crowds I've been a part of in my time here, and we certainly appreciate it. That played a huge factor in the win, and it was fun to see our guys celebrate, but once we got in the locker room, they're ready to move past it. And, we got to bounce back tomorrow with a good mental day of prep and get one more day. We'll practice a little bit in travel day, but, this is a hell of a tough turnaround to play back-to-back 8 o'clock games with 2 days prep, and, now you go on the road for 2. So, it's a great win for us. I'm not going to discount that. Huge win for our program, but we got to get past it and move on to Ohio State.
Coach, you have a lot of local guys on this team. Just how much do you think that this means to them, and obviously getting a huge win for the program?
Yeah, it is. It's a great win. We've done something that hasn't been done in this program ever, and running the table in the non-conference hasn't been done in almost 100 years. So there's a lot of things that these guys can be proud of. But at the same time, the most impressive thing to me about this group is how they've handled it. They haven't gotten big-headed. A lot of things have been written. And listen, if it flips, it's going to go the other way, and they got to handle that well. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's been a fun ride with this team, and they've seen how much effort and time you're putting into it to go out and execute game plans. Get chewed out at halftime and handle it and respond. And it's again, I've talked a lot about this group. They've been a joy to be around, and they've been fun because of their daily approach. And I promise you, they're going to be ready to go in the morning. We're going to do probably 2 20-minute stations. We'll shoot a little bit, and we'll get them off their feet. When you go on the road, you got to be fresh physically and mentally as much as possible. Had guys play a lot of rink hadn't played this amount of minutes in a while, so it's going to be important, to get him back fresh and go out and hopefully play well on the road.
Big moments. What do you like about that Price rink 2-man games?
Yeah, I mean they've had a great chemistry out there, and I thought we made some good plays early to rink on some pick and pops. But when he and Price are either in a pin down or a rip screen, they've done a good job of that. Now we needed to space it better on the post. We had a couple stupid turnovers in the first half when we got the ball in the rink where we didn't cut right and nobody pulled behind when they came to double. That's that can't happen. But yes, overall those two have played very well together.
Tom mentioned just the overall night with the court storming and everything, that this is sort of what it feels like when a program is being built. In the large view of things, do you feel that as well, that's part of it?
Well, it's, listen, Coach Izzo's a good friend. I've spent a lot of time with him over the years with Jack playing there for 4 seasons, and, that's the first thing he asked me, how's Jack doing? And, he's just meant the world to our family for helping Jack in the position that he's in now with the San Antonio Spurs. So, he told me after the game, he said, I'm really happy for you. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. And that's great, to hear something like that from a Hall of Famer, one of the best that's ever done it. And, to me, he's an easy guy to root for. I know the fans may think otherwise, but, when he was yelling at DJ. But no, listen, he's one of the best. And for all that he has accomplished, He's one of the most humble human beings. You know, he'll call you after a devastating loss. You know, a lot of times people, hey, great win, great win. He'll hit you up after you lose a devastating one, and that it takes a lot to do that. So he's a wonderful human being, and you know, I'm proud to call him a friend. Thanks, guys.
Chime one? Am I supposed to be it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hell yeah. You talk. Go talk.
Fast. We'll open the floor for questions.
For any of you guys, the message or the theme going into this game was just about matching toughness, you know, especially on the boards and their physicality. From a physical standpoint, but then also from a mental toughness standpoint, the way that you guys are able to overcome that late rally that they have and finish the job. Kind of what does this say about your group that you're able to answer both the physicality and mental toughness questions?
I'd say they still kind of kicked their ass on the glass. They out-rebounded us by a pretty decent margin. But, yeah, like you said, mental toughness. In a game like this, there's stretches where they play well, where we play well, and especially on their runs, you just try and stay composed, and it's next action. And I feel like throughout this season we've done a pretty good job. Like I've really liked how these guys responded in games like the Oklahoma game or the Kansas State game where the other team had crazy runs and we were able to respond. So yeah, we've been tested before, and we responded again today. Yeah.
For me, Michigan State had 19 turnovers. I know some of those were unforced, but just what do you guys see from yourselves in terms of activity on defense?
Urgency, that's, I mean, nothing else to say. We came out on go. Like you said, we were just being active. We knew coming into this game was going to be very important.
And speaking about composure, Braden got teed up there. Just how did you see him react after that?
He's a ball of energy. That's what makes him special. So you don't want to keep that fire too low. You want to feed it the right way. But yeah, he got a tech in a kind of crucial moment, which wasn't smart.
He's a freshman,
but he's a freshman, and I think he learned from that going into next game. So I like the way he responded in this game, and he hit some big threes, and he was huge down the stretch for us.
And we all here for him too. So.
Last game, I don't think you hit a three, and then for you to hit 5 in that first half, especially when Price had that foul trouble, just how big was that?
Yeah. After the last 2 games, I didn't hit a 3, so got a little bit of work in with Coach Fred, and he always has really good pointers of how to get a little bit more consistent. So I had good confidence going into this game that the shot was going to fall again, and yeah, luckily it did. When Price got that foul trouble, I knew there was going to be a little bit more load on me to take some shots, and yeah, luckily they went down.
You guys shot 24% in the second half, but we're still able to battle through and find other ways to win. How much did just the finding the gritty plays, the hustling back on defense, revenge transition, forcing turnovers, how much of a factor was that to make up for some of the offensive struggles?
Yeah, it was a huge factor. We talked about it already with the turnovers, with the active hands and getting those hands on the balls. And we talked about at halftime too, being the first to the floor, making that dive to the floor play. And we knew, getting that energy behind us and with the crowd was going to be big. And I feel like we did that pretty well.
The number of close games you've been in this year, how comfortable have you gotten in situations like the last 2 minutes and then just keeping your composure and everything that goes into that?
I'll take that one.
I don't know what it is. This team is the most old. We're experienced. We just me and Rick is in huddles. We're just trying to calm the guys down, and we're just starting to understand it. We just, even when we go on highs and runs, we just try to stay even kill the whole game. So.
There's always talked about players who made an effect in this game. You mentioned about coming back to this program, what you brought, which wasn't here last year. For you, what was it like to be back here and play inside PBA play?
was crazy. The loudest game I ever played in here, ever in general. Like I said, the fans here is amazing. The atmosphere, the people, just so good. And I'm just blessed to be, a part of this journey.
Going off of that, Coach Izzo mentioned that, like, a night like this with the court storming and everything, this is what it's like when a program is being built. You obviously seen what it was like a couple of years ago. I mean, is that something you feel on the bigger scheme of things that you're just noticing something maybe sustainable being built here now with what's going on this year?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think the start of my freshman year, with Bandamel and Greasel, that's what really got us going. And I think the key thing is, we're all good guys with good character. We want to see each other succeed. There's no hate on this team, and I love it. And supposed to win that game, guys. No more store quorums, please. I just got to say that.
Rick, it looked like you were anti-court storm as that was happening.
I like that the fans got to enjoy that moment, but if you are the number 13 against the number 9 and you're at home, in my opinion, you're supposed to win that game. Again, don't blame the fans at all that they got excited for that win.
Appreciate the
but
fans.
I think from here on out, we've proven that we belong in these games and that we're supposed to win these type of games. So, yeah, I was in the moment. I was kind of like, we're supposed to win this one, but I get it. I get it.
For you guys, with that, talk about you've proven that you're supposed to do this. This season's the theme has kind of been proving people wrong. Are you to the point now where that's over? Like, are you guys arrived?
No. We have a long season to go, and we got to keep that mentality of, like, every single game we got to prove it, this isn't a fluke, that we're not on just a hot streak, and that we can go cold. We just got to stay poised and keep proving people wrong.
Players, how hard is it to actually do that, though? I mean, you guys are doing things that this program has never done before, and you say it all the time about, staying even keeled and on to the next thing, but you obviously recognize what's going on here too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You gotta be in the moment, enjoy it. But like Jamarcus said, I think we have a group that's old and that knows that if you write that high, you can fall flat on your face. So gotta stay even. How do you do that? Take it one game at a time.
Yes. Thank you.